Hello and welcome to another Sudoku. I'm going to tackle another question posted on the Sudoku subreddit. I've got it pulled up right here. So this person is just asking for any tips, and I think my tip is going to be, I feel like playing out this game. All I've done so far is plug it in to my app to then continue on from here. So just a note about the difference in notation. Here we've got the center versus corner notation, and it looks like this user has followed a convention I've seen at least Cracking the Cryptic use. Not sure where it originated, but they've used the corner notation when there's for their Snyder marks. So when there's only two possible spots in a block, like these twos are only here and here, and that's the only spot in this block where those twos could possibly go, they've marked it in the corner. In my app, I'm going to mark that with a strong link using positional notation and use the strong link. And then they use the center notation when they've filled in all the possibilities for that cell. So like 2, 5, 6 are the only options left for that cell, which then I mark here with, again, positional notation, but then the dashes crossing out the rest of the possibilities. So all I've done so far is copy this over from here. Let's just, oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's just go to it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I noticed as I was plugging it in that the user had done some center notation where there could also be corner notations marking the strong links. So I'm going to scan again for some of those. And let's see, there were the ones here. Can only be there. And then additionally, with this notation, I can go across rows and columns, not just within blocks, which we can do there. Looks like there's a strong link on those ones. Anything else? I think that's all I noticed. So, I am going to just believe that they've done pretty well with the Snyder notation, and I'm just going to pick up as if I had finished my Snyder, and I'm filling in now, going to the full notation like their center notation, which means now I can look around and I just want to fill in all the possibilities for the cells that aren't marked up yet. So I'm going to start here. This is just one cell to finish out this block. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I should be looking 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so is there a 5 possible in this one? Yes, a 6. Don't see why not. A 7, maybe. An 8, no, because it's here. And a 9, maybe. So that finishes out that cell. And oh, they've marked a strong link on 7s here, which means it shouldn't be possible there. How did they arrive at that conclusion? How did you get the strong link on those 7s? Let me just pull that back up again. Yeah, you've got that marked there. Oh, maybe because it's not possible here, that's the only spot in this row, so we have an omission, we can get rid of that. Oops, not that 9, we can get rid of that 7. The 9 is possible. Okay. Great. Now let's connect these two here and fill in this notation. Oh, 8, hold on. I just happened to notice that we have a strong link here. Any other strong links across the rows we should hit? Strong link on those 7s. Of course, the 2-7 pair always has strong links. Okay, there we go. All right, now filling in this one so we can do our links across the columns. Where could 2 go? I guess any of those 3 places, right? 3, 4, what about 5? Could be, again, any of them. 6 could be not here because of that one, but that's the only oh, not here, right? Either of those 2. And 7, 8, 9, we already have a strong link marked, so that must be it. And now we can scan the column. Are there any other strong links to mark here in the column? There's a 7. 5, 9. What about the 6s? No. 7's again here. That. Oh, and these 8s. Oh, and the 9s. Okay, so we've got our strong links marked all up through there. Let's see, which block should we tackle next? How about this one? It only has 3 cells left to fill in. Do 3. What about 4? Should we be able to put 4 anywhere in here? Either of those, it looks like. 5 could go all over the place. 6, 7 has already got a strong link marked. What about 8? And 9 we already have marked. So that should be it here. And to connect that to something, let's go to this one. What do you say? So 1, 2, 3. Gonna need 4. Can't be here or there, so we got 3 spots left. 5, 6 could go. Oh, we've got marked already. 7, 8. 8 can go in these 4 spots, it looks like. So then now we can look across these rows and mark up any strong links we find. So far, 5 here. Oh, and 9 here. And 8 here. Cool. 2 blocks left. Let's do this one next. No restriction on the 2s. 4 could go only there. 5. No restrictions in the remaining cells that I see. 7. Can't go there. And finally 8 can't go in those 2, but it could go in those 2. So that finishes out all of those cells. And that gives us a chance to mark any strong links we see in these columns. And out of the top of my head, no, 7s we got. And 8, no. That's all I see. Okay, and to finally finish it off, just to complete our notation before we can then jump in and get real serious about finding chains and all that sort of stuff. Let's go to 1. That could go, wow, any of these places. That's very not restricted. 2's got a lot of numbers to fill into this middle block, it looks like. 2's are totally unrestricted in this whole area. 4, oh, at least there's a couple of those. We only got 3 spots. 5 is marked. 6, oh, can't go there or there, so we got 4 spots left for the 6s. 7 is marked. 8. 8 can go all up through. Oops, 8 can go in those 4 spots. Thanks for catching my mistake, app. And 9 is already marked, so that should do it for us. Now to mark the rows and columns for this last block. And then we should have all of our notation set. And I'm not spotting anything off the top of my head. I'm looking at the rows first. Oh, here we go. We can mark a strong link on those 9s. Or on these 9s as well. And in the columns, on the 1s. Now that's cool. That was powerful. So we marked a new strong link within the column on these 1s. Now that's an omission. That gets rid of all of these 1s. And now that gave us a new strong link in this row on those 2. And this one. So we have sort of an X-wing of 1s going on there. In fact, I wonder if we could have found that with an X-wing. But anyway, moving on. 6s, 9s are already marked. 1 again here. Strong link. Very nice. 5 is already marked. Okay, so probably I've missed some marks. I usually do. In fact, we could, let me move my video over and we can just take a little cheater peek and just notice. It looks like there's 5 strong links that I've missed that I should have been able to spot. So this could be more complete. Maybe we'll find them as we go. Oh, look, I just somehow happened to notice that these 7s are missing a strong link. So my next step is usually to look for the pairs and see if I can get any uniqueness constraints out of it. So these bi-value cells, I mean. So this one doesn't, the 2-7 doesn't have a rectangle to match up with. The 2-8 doesn't have any strong links coming vertically out of it, so that won't matter. The 1-2 does not line up with the corners. The 4-8, there's no vertical links, or in this, yeah. This 2-8, again, no links coming out of it, so that can't do anything interesting for us. 5-9 does not make a rectangle. 7-6, no rectangle. All right, so no. Sometimes I can spot a couple of unique rectangles, or at least hidden rectangles out of that, and it's quick to scan for. So, but no luck this time. So I just kind of feel like jumping into my normal routine now. If you're doing an advanced Sudoku, which it looks like this probably is, you just get into some serious stuff. Personally, there's a bunch of techniques you can learn and look for in particular, like skyscrapers and 2-string kites and, oh gosh, you know, W wings and all that kind of stuff. I personally just like to do the chaining that underlies those techniques rather than look for them specifically. And I do that by starting top left, work left to right, top to bottom, and I'm going to look at, in this case, bi-value cells that are missing some strong links. In this case, the 2 and the 8 are both missing some strong links, so I'll evaluate both of those. Or if a cell has more than 2 values, I'm only going to try following the ones that have strong links. That's my approach. That solves the vast majority of expert Sudokus, I find. So I'm going to start my chaining technique by asking, what if this cell was not a 2? And hope to find another 2 out there that I can make some conclusions from. So if this was not a 2, then it'd be an 8, which means none of those would be 8. That's not an 8. I don't see anything else to go from there. So let's move on, see if there's a better example. What if this was not an 8? Then it would be a 2. That would be a 7. That would be a 1. Any of these interesting? That means that's not a 1, so this is a 1. What do we want to get to? We want to see if there's an 8 somewhere down here, basically. Can we get an 8 down in this area? So we have to sort of penetrate down into these bottom layers and find another 8. And then that's going to probably be the way that we make some eliminations here. So I want to look for opportunity to go down. So it says not an 8, then 8, not 1, 1. That shoots us down. Not 1, 1 is down here, but I don't see any links out of that. So that was up here. So let's see, not an 8. 8, not a 1, 1. Not a 7, makes that a 7. Makes this a 6. Makes that an 8. And now that's interesting because we start and end with an 8. So if any cell could see both of these, then it couldn't be an 8. Because we said if this was not an 8, then this is an 8. So either way, if a cell could see both, so this one or this one, nothing to do there. If there was an 8 sitting around these intersection cells where it could see both of those, we could eliminate it. But anyway, so this would be an 8, which makes this a 1-4 pair here. Makes that a 2 and a 6. I don't see it, but that 1-4 pair eliminates the 4s from here. I don't see anything off the top of my head to do with that, but that's kind of cool. We're getting a lot of action here is the main thing. So we'll just keep pushing, just keep exploring. What if this was not an 8? Then that would be 8, not 1, 1, not 7, 7. not 7. 7, not 8. 8, we're back here. That means this would be a 6 if this was a 7, that's an 8, that makes this a 6. Is that right? Not 8, 8, not 1, 1, not 7, 7, not 7, 7. Yeah, so this was a 6. I'm missing a strong link here. That's not a 6, which makes that a 6. Let's just get that marked out. Makes that a 6. If this was a 6, means that's not a 6, meaning this is a 6. 2, 6, 2, 8. Right, and we saw that before, and we have our 1-4 pair hanging around here. We should be able to break that 1-4 pair. I don't know if that's interesting, though. Where are the other ends of the 1s? Yeah, only up here, so that doesn't really help us. It'd be nice if we could get over and hit whatever this one is. Could we get that? Not 8, 8, not 1, 1, not 7. So we had 6. Ah, 8, not 8, 8. So, there we go. There's an 8. Okay, that finally did something. Okay, so all this exploring finally found one that's actually much simpler than a lot of the stuff I was seeing. I think we can end up saying that this is an 8. So if this is not an 8, this is not a 1, 1, not a 7, 7, not a 7, 6, not a 6, 8, not an 8, 8. Just following the strong links. Very simple chaining. Kind of a long chain, but straightforward. No nets or groups or anything. So if this is not an 8, then this is an 8. And here we have a cell that sees both of them. We can eliminate the 8 from here. Why? Well, either this is an 8 or it's not. If it is an 8, that's eliminated. If it's not an 8, follow our chain, and we end up with an 8 here, it's still eliminated. Either way, that cannot be an 8. Now, that didn't really finish everything out for us yet. Didn't give us any new strong links. But it's a small step. Okay, not an 8, 8. Ended up, oh yeah, over here. This is an 8, makes that a 9. Makes that a 9 and not a 1. That's a 1. I still want to get down into here. That was an 8. That was an 8. So one of these two has to be the other 8. We could figure it out by deciding what this cell is, if we could get up there somehow. Not seeing it, though. We could figure it out, because this 4 is gone, we could figure it out with a 5 somewhere. So if we figure out this cell, that should do it for us. That's going to set whether this is the 4 or the 5. Or sorry, whether it's the 5 or the 8. Okay, great. This cell, let's focus on figuring out this cell. Not an 8, 8, not a 1, 1, not a 7, 7, 2, not a 7. Okay, so 7, 6, 8. Oh no, we have a 5, 9 pair here. We're left with a 5, 9 pair down in this block. So we have to bust up that 5, 9 pair somehow. It's going to be matched up with this. These 9s over here. Which doesn't give us a new avenue, which means we'd have to find one of these 5s. And I'm not as hopeful about that. We haven't seen anything busting into these 5s yet. That's too bad. So if this was not an 8, we had ended up with an 8 here, an 8 here. That gives us an 8 here. None of that's really penetrating into, let's see, this was this would be, if this is an 8, then that's a 2. If that's a 2, didn't we set a 9 in here? If that's an 8, then that's a 9, so that's a 9. 2, 9. Makes that a 6. 2, 9, 6. 2, 9, 6, 1. 1, 2, 9, 6. Then we still have these 4 left over. 4, 7, 4, 7, 8. 2, 4. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I didn't see that breaking anything open for us. That was a 2. Oh yeah, not the 2. So this was just 4, 7, 4, 7, 8, 4, 5, 8. So we're left with this sort of small rectangle. 4, 5, 7, 8 are left over in these 4 cells. And that doesn't help us break into the here at all. Oh, this is really tricky. I'm sure there's easier things, but I enjoy this. This is just my happy place, trying to play Sudokus just like this. Okay, I'm going to pause on continuing those chains and go back and double check. We can place a lot of things if we assume this is not an 8. Now let's go back to our other assumption, because I don't remember. I feel like we didn't get far, but what if it was an 8? Which is the same as saying it's not a 2, which is how we started. If this is an 8, yeah, there's just no conclusions. We get a strong link on those 8s. Oh, that's interesting. Is it? No. Nope, never mind. We get a strong link on those, but that doesn't help us. Okay. Not an 8, 8. Not a 1, 1. 7. So 1, 7. Ah. Not a 1, 1. I'm looking at this row now. We can place the 1. Oh, the 1, and that made that the 4, because we had the 1, 4 pair down here. That's a 2, 8, and this ended up being an 8, so that's a 2. So that's 1, 4, 2, 6, 8. Can fill in this whole block. We ended up with a, yeah, because that 6 is there. We ended up with a 5, 9 pair here. So we could place the others, 8. I forget which is the 7 and the 6, but I guess it doesn't matter. 5, 9 pair here. Which links up with the that can't be an 8, so we have these 3 8s to figure out here. So we have, yeah, all it does is the only thing we've been able to eliminate Oh, we got rid of these 4s, and we got rid of that 8. And we haven't busted into any of these cells. So we haven't placed a single value in this either of these two blocks. And if we could, it feels like we ought to be able to with all these conclusions we're drawing. One of those has to be the 2. And I think we said this is the 2, because that's an 8. So that's a 2, not 2. So this is a 2. So there's one thing we can actually place. Over here in this stack of, yeah, so we've got a 2 there, 2, 1, 8. We have a 2 there. That means that what we're left with here, which I think makes this the 5. Because we place the 2 there, we place the 8 there, that makes this a 5. So this can't be a 5, it can't be an 8, so this is a 7. We're encroaching ever so slightly. That's a 7. Still leaves this 4-5 unresolved because we have our 5-9 pair here. Did we figure out this cell? Oh. It can't be a 4. Right. Because the 4 was one of those 2. So this was the 2. Okay, so that didn't help us. 2, 6, 8. So what's left is, and 7. So we have 4, 5, 8 left. No, 4, 5, 9 left. That's 4, 9. That's 4, 5, and that's 5, 9. If we could resolve any of those 3, we'd be in pretty good shape. I think. We know we can't get the 5, 9 from up here because it's got a pair here, eliminating all of those. And the 9s in particular are not helpful because we end up with an X-wing on 9s here. Just a rectangle of 9s. So it has to be the 4 or the 5 that would break that. The 5 would have to come from here. Oh, one of those 2. And so that again doesn't help us. That gives us a rectangle of 5s here. Rectangle of 5s, rectangle of 9s. The only thing left is the 4s. Can we place a 4? We placed a 4 in here. So those are gone. So we have these 2 4s left, which means it's going to have to come from above. It's got to be... And the 4s, man, I just see... Do I see a strong link on a 4 anywhere on this entire board? No. which makes that a very difficult one. Ah, there should be a strong link on 4s here, though. Maybe marking that out will help spot something. I'm just scanning the rest of the 4s to make sure I'm not missing any other strong links. And I don't see any. Okay. If we could, in the 7s, didn't we get to 7s somewhere? We said that was a 7, didn't we? Or was this? No, this was the 7. If I recall right, because we know it's not the 8. How did we say it wasn't? Oh, we probably said that. Oh, maybe we said this is a 7. Oh, that would be amazing. Because if this is a 7, that would make that a 4, which would break what's going on here. We'd say this is a 5. Which would make that a 5, 9, 4. Oh, it would make that a 5, which would make that an 8, because we got rid of the 4 previously. And then that would finish out the whole thing we've been trying to do this entire time. Tons and tons of work. I enjoy it. I'm having fun. Okay. Wow. So the key is, can we say this is a 7? Is that something? I feel like that must be what we concluded at some point. How might that have been possible? Oh, I can't figure out how. We had placed a bunch of things in here. How did we determine this was a 7? Maybe that's the better question to ask. How did we determine that's a 7? Not an 8. 8 can't be an 8, so that eliminates that one. 1. So we're left with 2, 5, 2, 5, 7, and 5, 7. Not an 8, 8, not a 1, 1. So 7, not a 7, 7, 8, 9, not a 9, 9. We have 9, 1. None of that gets into here. How did we place this 7? Was it a mistake? I hope not. We had a 4. We had a 4 where? Which one of these was the 4? Maybe that's good enough. Maybe that's all we would need. Not an 8, 8, not a 1, 1, not a 1, 4. Nope, not good enough. That's the 4. Which means we still have these 2 left in the block. We don't know which one it is. Four, 1, 8, 2. Ah, that's how. Okay, or that's, oh wait. If this is a 2, and that's a 2, then we've eliminated this one, and this one. The only place left for a 2 is here, in this column, which means that's not a 7, and this is a 7. Sad. I'm sad that that didn't let us figure out this 4. 2, 7, 8, 1, which makes that a 5. Makes that a 5. 5, 5. That's a 9. Doesn't help. So we have a 9 here, a 5 here, a 2 here. Nine, 2. Gives us a 5, 8 pair there. Which one of these was the 5? Oh my gosh, I'm totally losing track now. This is really stretching my ability to keep track. This is sort of an interesting thing about the way I'm playing Sudoku these days. It's really stretching my ability to just remember board state, which I feel like is probably a good memory exercise in general. I've always been terrible at memory games, like when you have all the cards laid out and you flip one and you have to find the match. I mean, just awful at that game. I wonder if this is helping. I don't want to give up yet. This is really interesting to me. I'm invested. I want to persevere and succeed. It's resolved so many cells on the board. I just find it hard to believe we can't make some conclusion still. And it should be, which one of these is the other 8? If this is not an 8, we should be able to figure out it's going to be either this one or this one is the other one that becomes an 8. I've been focusing real hard on whether this one is. I wonder if there's any possibility to focus on this one. Like, for example, if we could conclude that this is a 7, we'd have it. But I'm having a lot of trouble even getting to that, because that, we placed a 7 here, but that's not getting us back into these to propagate up to this one. It's going to be an X-wing on 7s here. So again, if we could place that 4, we'd know it's not a 7. If we could say it's not a 4, we'd know it is a 7. It'd be great if we could say this is the 4. We know this is a 4, which gives us a strong link on these two. Which then makes this a 4-7 hidden pair, which gets rid of the 2, 6, and 8. I'm not sure if that's helpful. Maybe we already knew that. But we've got a 4-7 pair here. Does thinking about that do anything interesting for us? If we could get rid of this 5, we get rid of the 2 right away, because if it's not an 8, it's a 2. If we get rid of that 5, then I think we'd have something, because that would give us a unique rectangle here, meaning that's neither a 4 nor a 7. Cross those out. And then that would place that 7, make that a 4, make that a 7. I guess that didn't do anything for us then, did it? That would still leave us with 2, 5, and 8 here. If that's even possible. Okay, so enough the hypotheticals. Let's really target these cells here. Particularly these 4 cells, and see what we can conclude about those 4 cells. And maybe that'll give us something. Not 8. 2. Not 2. 2. Not 2 gives us a 5, 6 pair. That makes that a 9. Makes that a 1, 2 pair. I think we've been able to do better than that. Not 8, 8. Not 1, 1. Not 7. 7, 6. 6. 2 here. Right, we had an 8 down here. Let's see if we can find that again. So 6, that's an 8, which gets rid of the 8 and the 2. This 8 means that's a 2. And that gets rid of the 8 and the 2 from this one and the 2 from there. So we've got 4, 7, 6 in both of these cells. And these were 2 of our interesting cells. We had this 2 did something, didn't it? Oh, well, those are gone. So we have 4, 5, 7, 8, 4, 6, 7, 4, 5, 7, and 4, 6, 7 in our interesting cells now. That becomes a 5, right? Not 8. 8 knocks that one out. This was a 2, knocks that one out, which makes this the 5. So now we've removed the 5 from our interesting 5 and the 2 from both of these cells. So we have 4, 7, 8 and just 4, 7. And that's a 2, but that's not what we need right now. What is this cell? Or what is this cell, maybe? This was I feel like we should know this one, right? Yeah, we filled in this whole block. This was so that's the 8, which makes that the 6, okay. That's the 6. That's a 2, means that a 9. And that a 1, okay. So we're getting real close. So that was the 6, 9, a 1, 2 pair there. Did we ever break that? Yeah, no, oh, wait. 6? No, I got something wrong. If that's the 6, this is an 8, makes that a 6. That was a 2. Makes that a 9. 1. And okay, maybe we'll find a contradiction right here in this column. Oh gosh, that's not what I expected to find, but maybe I'm about to prove that this is indeed an 8 and cannot be the 2. Whew, not what I was aiming for. But okay, so we're going to focus on these 4 cells and see what we can conclude about these 4 cells based on the premise that this is not an 8. Here we go. Run it again. If it's not an 8, we have an 8, not 1, 1, 7, not 7, 6, not 6, 8. Oh, no, not 6, 6, not 6, 2. So we have a 2 here. Those can't be 2. In fact, maybe let's focus more. Oh, sorry. Wait, hold on. We do that. Not 8, 8. Not 1, 1. Not 7, 7. Not 7, 6. Not 6, 6. Okay, sorry. We have a 6 here. That's a 6. That's an 8, which makes this one a 2. So 6 and 2 are eliminated from these 3 cells. That makes this a 9. 6 and 2 are eliminated. That makes that a 9. Makes that a 1. 1, 2, and 6 have all been eliminated now, and this cell is empty. And that's not possible. We reached an impossibility. Therefore, our starting premise must have been wrong. If we start by saying, what if this was not an 8, and we end up saying this cell is empty, we have to then conclude that this actually is an 8. Okay, I want to do that just one more time. I've seen it twice now, but it was still a little shaky that last time. One more time. Okay, not an 8, 2. Not a 2, 7. Not a 7, 6. Not a 6, 8. This might be all we really need. If this is an 8, that's a 2 and that's a 6, right? This 8 makes, because that's not a 6, that means that is a 6. Knocks out that 8, it's a 2. 2, 6. Makes this a 9 and a 1, and that's empty. So we've concluded both that this must be a 2 and also this must be a 6, because all we had to really start with was here. Oh, so let me just start one step at a time. So this must be the 2. That's what we just concluded. Well, I got something wrong. What was wrong with my logic? Not an 8, 2, 7, 6, 8. If this is an 8, then we have a 2 and a 6. I don't see any logic. I still don't see any flaws. 2, 6 makes that a 9. 1, empty. What am I missing? What am I doing wrong? Not an 8, 2. Obvious. Not a 2, 7. Obvious. Not a 7, 6. Obvious. Not a 6, 8. Obvious. Not an 8, 2. Obvious. So 8, 2. Here we have a strong link saying that this is not a 6. This must be the 6. Because nothing else in the block can be a 6. So if that's an 8, that must be the 6. So we have 2, 6. This sees both of them. Can't be a 2, can't be a 6. That means it's a 9. This sees the 2 and the 9, so it must be a 1. So we have 2, 6, 1, leaving this empty. Impossible. Which means, oh, right, which means this must be the 8. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I had all the logic right, except for if this is not an 8, it means it is an 8. Not, it's a 2. Okay. So this must be an 8. And let's see, let's just mark a couple things out while I'm thinking of it. That makes this a strong link. That makes this a strong link. That makes this a strong link. Okay, now we could have started just from here, and we can do the logic just saying, what if this was an 8? If this is an 8, we have 2, 6, 9, 1 empty. So all we have to really do is start from here. If we start with the premise saying, what if this was an 8, we end up with a contradiction. Therefore, it cannot be the 8. So this is the 6. Oops, this is the 6. And it looks like that's going to finish the puzzle. Oh, well, maybe we have to look a little bit more. Is there anything obvious? Oh, here we go. We have a missing strong link here, so this is the 1. Missing strong link there, so that's the 6. Okay. Still have to look a little bit. Okay, here's a 5-8 naked pair, means that can't be the 8, which means it's the 2. That can't be a 5. Anything else real quick to spot and eliminate? There's got to be something easy I'm not spotting just at a glance. So I guess I'll go through and just mark a bunch more links, and in this process, hopefully notice something else. Strong link on 6s, 4s, nice strong links on this 2-6 pair, strong link on the 5-9 pair, and the 5-9 pair, and the 5-9 pair. Okay, here's a nice 2-string kite. If this was not a 5, that'd be a 5, not a 5-5. Right, so not a 5-5, not a 5-5, which means one of those two has to be the 5, which means it can't be this one. So something. That gives us a nice strong link on these 5s. Many more strong links to just hammer out real quick. Looks like on the 2s here. On the 6s here. Okay, well, I mean, shoot. Let's just go back and resume. Next step, what if this was not a 4? Just do some more chaining. I like chaining. If this was not a 4, we'd have 8, not an 8, 8, not a 4, 4. So that should eliminate this one. If this was not a 4, it'd be an 8, not an 8, 8, not a 4, 4. So if either this one or that one's a 4, means this one cannot be. Okay, so just to go through longhand, that means it can't be that one. But then we follow the strong link, and now we know it must be this one. All right, cool. Gives a nice strong link here and here. Shall we keep going? Try again. Not a 4, 8. Oh, there's a strong link on 8s here I should mark. Not a 4, 8, 5, 8, 5, 7. Not a 7, 7. There we go. How about that? Not a 4, 8, not an 8, 5. How did I do that? 1, not a 1, 9, not a 9, 1, not a 1, 6, not a 6, 2, not a 2, 6, not a 6, 9. How did I get over there? Somehow I got into the 4, 7 pair stuff going on down here. Not a 4, 4, 9, 4, 5, 7, not a 7, 7, not a 7, 4. Okay, let's do that one. Not a 4, 4, not a 4, 5. No, how did I just do that? Not a 4, 4, not a 4, 5, not a 5, 7, not a 7, 7, not a 7, 4. So one of those two has to be the 4. One more time. Not a 4, 4, not a 4, 5, not a 5, 7, not a 7, 7, not a 7, 4. So that can't be a 4, which means it must be the 7. This is just fighting, fighting, fighting. There's probably easy things I just haven't spotted. But that's still already interesting. There, finally we finished the strong links here on these 4s, and we can move on from this cell. But that's pretty cool, actually. Surprising. Okay. Let's try this 2 here. I think in this video, this is the very first time I'm starting from a cell with more than 2 values, isn't it? So I'm going to start from the 2 or the 4 and try and do some chaining and see what conclusions we can draw. Not a 2, 2, 6, not a 6, 6. Hmm. 9, 1, 9. Be nice to break out into down here. Or the 5, 8. Somehow get into the 5, 8s or somewhere down here. Maybe follow down here somehow. 2, not a 6, 6. Right, the 2, 6 doesn't get us over here because that's a pair. 2. Oh, we have a strong link on 2s here that I missed before. Oh, and there. Okay. Just missing those link marks, but I don't see anything particularly interesting that does for us yet. Two, 7, 7. We're left with a 4, 5 pair here that we have to bust somehow. That's interesting. Six, 1, 9, 5, 9, 8, 4. Okay, there we go. Finally got one. The trick was to get into these 9s over here. Okay. Not a 2, 2, not a 6, 6, not a 1, 1, not a 1, 9, not a 9, 9, not a 9, 8, not an 8, 4. So if this is not a 2, it is a 4. In either case, either it's a 2 or that's a 4. In either case, this cannot be a 4, right? So that cannot be a 4. Now, because of our strong link, we know that this one must be the 4. Now I think we finally cracked the entire puzzle. Holy cow. Well, that was fun. I don't know if this is particularly interesting for that, oops, that's not the button I meant to push. This is. For this Reddit poster, probably was looking for finding the simplest thing instead of spending an hour finding the most complex things in the world. But that's fun. That's video. And it at least shows a way that you can use this notation and continue making progress. I'm curious to just undo a bunch of steps and see how much easier it could have been. What do you say we give that a try? Let me just undo forever. Get back to, let's see, we want to get back to here. It was right about the time where, there, so we were finishing the notation. And just marking a bunch of link marks. There, we just eliminated a 1 here somehow. Oh no, that was just because of this sort of X-wing omission business. That was nothing particularly fancy. That was just, yeah. I'm going to keep redoing, just marking links. There we go. That's where we placed something. This is where we started spending tons and tons of time. What could we have done here? Oh, look, I only missed 2 link marks at that point. There's a hidden pair of 1, 9 there. I should have. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I didn't spot that. I'm going to blame that I didn't do all the notation from the start, but sort of jumped in halfway through. But yeah, that's something you should really be able to spot. And that's actually easy to spot when you're doing the notation. If you have strong links that between 2 values that both start and end in the same cell, that's a hidden pair. And so you can, and we should, yeah, we have that here. Get rid of that. What does that give us? Gives us nothing terribly interesting. Let's see, we have 2-string kite. That's a nice, easy one that some people might have good techniques to try to find without all the pain that I went through. So let's go ahead and apply that. That's interesting. And now we're already up to chains of length 5. So this isn't, let's see if there's any named techniques. An XY wing, okay. There's an XY wing. That's something people might have tricks to spot. But now we're still in tough stuff. Finned X-wings, unnamed. I'm feeling pretty good. This is actually a difficult puzzle that required some advanced chaining to figure out. Or, like finned X-wings and that kind of wild stuff. So, cool. I don't feel so bad about the crazy ways I went about doing it. I'm going to call that a video. Thanks for watching. I hope it was interesting. Have fun with your own Sudokus.